Hello my artsy friends. In this video I'm going to share with you all the supplies I use in my paintings and I just love. And then I'm going to talk about how I prepare my wood panels to paint on. So first of all, I try to keep my supplies contained so that I can take them different places. Although I do have a great studio here in my basement, I do like to paint on my porch, or a lot of times I have an hour and a half planning, and if I'm kind of caught up, I might take projects to do during that time because I'm constantly liking to keep my brain inspired. So in my little handy dandy caddy, which is actually a vintage Pepsi crate, I will keep my supplies. So let's start with the first thing. This is what I prime my canvas with. It's called black gesso. And this one I bought actually at Hobby Lobby. It's that Bob Ross brand. But you can, Liquitex I believe makes one, Dick Blick makes one. You can get them at your local craft stores. But black gesso seems to be a little bit more popular than it used to be. I also have my different types of paints, and I'll talk about those last. I love vintage milk glass, and it's cheap, and it makes my art supplies look pretty. So in that, you're going to need a white eraser. Like, this is like a cap eraser. I like this on my pencil. I have Sharpies, and I have a really good pencil sharpener. Has the large hole for sharpening my chalk and a small hole for pencils. You definitely need the old-fashioned white chalk, which, you know what, it's kind of dumb, but it's not as easy to find as it used to be. And these are my other two must-haves. These are called Stabilo Pencils, and I'm trying to get them in the camera the right way here. These are the bomb. If you don't order anything off of my list, I suggest you order these. It says Aquarelle, I probably did not say that right, Stabilo, and then, let me read it, all, 3046 on the black one. And the other one, the white one, says the same thing, but the number on it is 8052. But what you want to do when you're looking for these Stabilo pencils online, I order these from Dick's usually, or not Dick's, Dick Blick, sorry. Anyway, Dick's is the sporting goods store that we are frequently in. Dick Blick is where I order my art supplies. Anyways, look for, the little top has, I don't even know what that is, a swan and oh, it's a swan. And then the green bands. They are right there, the green bands. Look for the green bands. You're going to need these, and when I paint, you're going to understand why later. And I always have a black and a white. They come in all the colors, but anyways. Then I have a ton of different types of brushes, and brushes. Love me some brushes. I'm always buying brushes because acrylic paints are really tough on brushes, so I'm always buying new ones. And I am an angled brush fan. Can you see the angle on that? I love an angled brush. All right, and I have my water jar here, my Sketchbooks. I do have the fancy paint palette. It's called, I don't even know what it's called. It has the sponge and the paper. But honestly, I am kind of a fast painter, and that sponge thing gets kind of stinky. So I've been using this lately, which is a palette paper. You know, it's like wax paper. Really, you could just use wax paper if you wanted, and then you just tear off the sheets when you get done and dispose of them. So it's awesome. And then paint. Okay. First of all, you gotta have the gesso, but then the paints, I do use acrylics. I don't like the fluid acrylics. I've never used those, so I have can't really talk about those, but I can't talk about what I have in my bin. I used to be anti-craft paints. All right, that's these, the little bottles that are so cute, and they're cheap at Michael's. Michael's has the best selection of them. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to try these out. And I do like them, but they're really thin layering, and because I start with a black backdrop, because I use black gesso, you have to use like 2 or 3 coats to make this work. But for smaller projects, I really enjoy them. I mean, this color is like to die for. I mean, look at that thing. Mostly I use the heavy body acrylics, and I have a Michaels and a Hobby Lobby where I live. But I'm so close to the city that there's, you know, a Dick Blick store that I can go to, and then there's Uptrick, and there's one other I can't for the life of me remember the name of. I don't have a Jerry's Artorama, which I wish I had, but I really prefer to buy my paint in person because I like to see the labels and I like to see the colors. A lot of times the labels and these cheaper paints don't have them, but a lot of times the labels, like, you know, on Golden, they have the light meter on them so that you can know how transparent it is versus how opaque it is. Like, this is seriously, this is really my favorite paint. This is the Cinelari, I'm not sure how you say that, but this is like, if I could afford to buy this paint only, this is what I buy. But one of my favorites, honestly, is this. This is the Master's Touch. And this is available at Hobby Lobby, where I live. And it's $3.99 a tube. And I'm kind of a paint crazy person and buy lots of colors because I like the colors. And I was thinking about what painting I was doing with you guys. So I was kind of buying based on what I thought I was going to be painting with you guys. But this is really, I really like this. Now the white has an odor. Woo! The white in this Master's Touch stinks. Don't know why it stinks, but it does. Liquitex is really good. The one I do not like at all is the Basics. The Basics brand. Oh, I don't like that brand at all. But the two colors are must-haves for me are a giant tube of white. I'm a big white fan. Most of my backgrounds end up being white. And then this one is like a creamy color. Sometimes it's called, well, this one's called Unbleached Titanium. Sometimes it's Unbleached Muslin. This is another one. This will change your colors into another color and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. And then I have to have neon pink. Something about a little dab of neon pink that just makes the paintings all so awesome. And on occasion, if I'm doing like a large custom painting or if I'm doing like a body of work and I have one color in particular I really like, especially for backgrounds, because for backgrounds I tend to use a lot of white, I will go to Home Depot, my local Home Depot, and have them mix me up one of these. They are very cheap and I really like the way it goes on. You can ask for different paint finishes. I'm not sure which one this is. This is paint and primer one, so it's probably a little bit flat. Anyways, so that is the paint I use. I mean, like I said, this is just a small tasting of the paint I have. I actually have vintage grocery shopping carts. You know the little metal shopping carts that your grandma used to put on a grocery buggy? I have 3 of those. One for neutrals, one for cool colors, and one for warm colors, because, you know, I am an art teacher. And so, yeah, I might show you my stash of paint. It's kind of obnoxious. And the funny thing is, I can't help it. I mean, I go in an art store and I'm like, oh, I gotta have paint. I gotta have paint. I mean, yesterday I went to Hobby Lobby to return tension rods, okay? Return tension rods. I left with a bag of paint. Yeah, I didn't even need paint. I mean, but I don't know, this color, I'm like, I don't think I have any more of this color. I need this color. My art campers used it all. Anyways, so, and I also have to have these now. You know, I'm not sure what happened, but my eyeballs decided to go away a year or 2 ago. So I'm gonna move this out of the way and I'm gonna show you what I paint on. I am not a canvas person, okay? A couple years ago, I decided that the texture just gave me the willies and I just didn't want to paint on canvas anymore. And so I started painting on wood. And I had this guy, in my first video yesterday, I had the He Loves Me and you saw the salvage wood frame around it. Well, I have this guy, Mr. Phillip. We call him Crazy Phillip, I'm just gonna say, because when you live in Georgia and you live in a teensy little town and your barn is bigger than your house, and you live in a teensy neighborhood, yeah, you can have that little adjective added to your name. He is Crazy Philip. But we love him. And he makes amazing frames. He goes and he gets old wood from houses. If a house is falling down, he goes, he takes his big old pickup truck and he yanks it out and puts it in his barn and dries it out. And then he makes frames for me and a lot of other artists now. And we love him. But not everybody has access to a Crazy Philip like I do. So when I do workshops, I only do it on the panel so that you can use something that's available to you. And there's 3 different types of wood that you can order or buy. Of all things, they had wood panels at Hobby Lobby yesterday. Of course, I had to buy one just to see what it was like. But most of the time, I order my panels from Dick Blick. They're my favorites. Right now, they have $4.95 shipping. They have the 3 different profiles, and the wood is so smooth. It's birch, and it's just, oh, it's yummy. So this is, well, when you look on dickblick.com, and of course, I like talking about the online sources because you may be in South Africa and not know what Michael's is. So this is the low profile, or the flat panel. That's what it's called. Very flat. This is perfect for when you are putting this in a frame. Okay, but I would be putting this in a Crazy Philip frame. This is one of my finished pieces, my little happy landscapes. This is the deep cradle canvas. Okay, you can see it's about as wide as my finger. I want to say it's like a 1.5, 2-inch profile, and it's really nicely made. You have to add the hangers to it, obviously. Oops, and I love it. I love the profile. And then if people don't want to hang it on the wall, they can sit it on a shelf because it does stand up. Of course, I said that. Yep, it stands up on its own. Okay, so this is the deep panel, okay? But the one that I most often buy, especially for workshops, is this kind. It's the, whoops, this is the 3/4 profile. It's a little thinner. Like I said, this is the one that I got at Hobby Lobby yesterday, and it's that Master's Touch, which is the paint I love. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was $10.99, but then I had a 40% off coupon. So that's really a good buy. And the thing I like about this one, I'm going to go ahead and open it. I didn't open it yet because I wanted you to see the label. Okay. I like it because it has the smooth corners, okay? They're pretty corners. Cheap Joe's panels, let me just show you real quick. I have one. Not that Cheap Joe's is bad, because Lord knows they are the best price, and he has awesome sizes, okay? This is like a long, skinny one that's already prepped. But his, I don't know if you can see, has that little dove thing in it. And if you're not framing it, I don't know, to me, that's a little unattractive. I like the smoother side. So anyways, I'm talking too much. So let me get going on this. When I'm getting ready to prep my canvas, you're going to need your black gesso, and you're going to need a brush. Now, this is an older paintbrush. Those new brushes that are out there that are called gesso brushes, I have to be honest, they just, you know, they stink. All right, they leave hairs all in your painting, and I don't know. So I don't even bother buying those gesso brushes. Buy you one from the paint store. This is an old, like, actually I probably got this at an antique store. But you want to shake the gesso up real good. And I am lazy. Don't put it in a cup. I just kind of pour it all over. And then I start painting. And you want to cover it completely. Now some of you are like, what the heck? Why does she use black gesso? There's white gesso, there's clear gesso, there's wood. Why can't I just paint on the wood? Well, my technique, I've been painting now since '07. I mean, I was an art teacher and an art major and all that, but I wasn't a painter, okay? Like, when you go to art school, you declare a major, and I was a printing major of all things. I mean, really, what was I going to do with that when I grew up? I always knew I wanted to be an art teacher. So, well, after I graduated from Auburn with the Bachelor of Fine Arts, I actually went back to school and got certified in art education. So, I didn't start painting until after I had Will through 16, and I painted murals. people would pay me and I would take him in this little pumpkin seat and have him sit and watch me paint. And I painted murals, lots of murals. I mean, I painted murals like crazy. And then in '07, I owned a business with a friend of mine, and she said, why don't you paint some stuff that we can sell? Put it on the walls. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I started painting, and oh, if I could, should show you some of my beginning artwork. The funny thing is, I might talk about this later in another video, because I do talk a lot in my videos, sorry. One day I was at a thrift store, and I'll be danged if one of my first paintings I ever painted was sitting in that thrift store, so I bought it back. And anyways, I'll show it to you later. So I started painting, and I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. And I love little birds and silly little birds, and my son had drawn this really cute little bird, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. So I modified it, and the next thing you know, that's what I'm doing with bird painter. And over the years, I have developed my own style. I love encaustic painting. Oh, now there's a hair. I do paint with the wax, but mostly I do acrylic painting. And I love I wanted my stuff to have like a black outline. I don't know why, I just did. And I couldn't figure out, like, I tried Sharpie, I tried painting it, just nothing ever looked right. And then one day an artist came in to sell her work at our store, and I was like, that is the line I want. It's like the richness I want around the edge. Here, you know what, it'd be easier for me to show you. All those black lines, okay? I wanted that black outline like around everything. And I couldn't fit, I was like, how in the heck is she doing that? And she goes, oh, well, I started with the black background. She uses house paint. She's this sweet little lady here in Noonan. Sells the heck out of her paintings. She uses house paint to scrap wood. I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. She uses black paint, and then I didn't ask her how she did it, but I just kind of inferred that she used the black paint, and then I draw with chalk, and then when it's dry, I wipe away the chalk, and all these luscious black lines are left behind. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I've been doing since. So it gives my art that whimsical look, okay? Because that's what I am, a whimsical painter, not a realistic painter, not an abstract painter. I am a whimsical painter. I paint campers and trucks and bikes and birds and all kinds of stuff. So, but for you guys, we're going to be working on whimsical landscapes. And in the next video, I am going to talk to you about how to loosen up and find that inner whimsy. I'm going to make you draw with your non-dominant hand. You're going to be like, once you start practicing, it's going to look awesome. And you're going to really enjoy it. So, anyways, I am going to let this dry, and we'll be back later on this afternoon to show you how to create a whimsical landscape.